One. Hello guys, welcome to the channel and it's time here and today we're going to do another dope video and you guys might be thinking I'm in a different place. Yeah, because my brother is in his tuition. So today in this video and I'm sorry I have not been posting a lot lately and I will post daily content from now, okay guys? And let's get into it. Okay guys, I don't know what video we're gonna react to, so let's see. Let's see which video is there. I'll just see which video is there and we can. Okay guys, we're gonna be watching this video and I have not seen this video before, so let's try it out, okay guys? 1 second guys, I need to see something real quick. Okay guys,
I was having a hard time in the beauty store trying to find the exact product my mom had asked me to pick up. There were so many items of so many different brands, I got confused. I should probably call her, I thought. So I took out my phone and dialed her number. I walked back and forth while the number was dialing. She picked up and I got the name of the product. I was very confused on my phone, so right as I was hanging up, I bumped into someone. I'm so
It looked like they were kissing. They were kissing. Look at that face. Look at that mouth.
sorry, I quickly responded as I looked at her face. I was awestruck. It was Maya, my crush from school. It's fine, she replied and moved on without looking at me. So I just picked up the product and went towards the pay counter. But I wanted to have one more look at her as she was looking very pretty. I turned back to look and couldn't believe what I saw. But before we move on, like this video, hit that subscribe button and activate the notification
guys,
bell.
Don't forget to like and subscribe my video too. And okay, I and go to their channel and subscribe. Yes, so I already subscribed and done, guys. Okay, let's get into
This will let you live 20 amazing years longer. Trust me, it works. Maya was sneaking some products into her bag. Not one, not two, but multiple small products that could fit in her bag. And when she was done, she confidently walked past me as I was paying and out of the door. She stole from the store. I was done paying, so I rushed out and followed behind her. She was walking very fast, so I was only able to catch up with her in the parking lot. I saw what you did in there, I said. She turned to me with an anxious look on her face. Sean? She said as if she recognized me. You should return all that stuff and apologize to them, I said. But suddenly she started crying. I felt a little bad for her, but couldn't come up with anything to say. I can't tell anyone because I don't want to go to jail. I'm not a criminal, I just have a condition, she added. Either you tell them or I will. We have to do the right thing here, I replied. She paused for a while and gave me a strange look. Then she said, Sean, I know you have a crush on me, and if you remain quiet about this, I would go on a date with you. I was surprised. I had never expected that the girl I always had a crush on would want to go out with me, no matter what the condition was. I was not letting that chance go by, so I agreed and we headed our separate ways. For a few days, we texted back and forth to plan for our date. We agreed on having a beach picnic as it would be good for getting to know each other more and talk. Soon enough, the day of the date also arrived, so I went to pick her up in front of her apartment and we headed to the beach. We stopped at a gas station. We thought we should get some chips, so we went inside the store. I was picking some chips when I saw Maya stealing some stuff again. It was a bit awkward for me, but I chose to ignore it. She walked right past the counter like before, and no one even noticed. Then I went on and paid for the chips.
Hey guys.
Headed out, and we started driving for the beach. When we arrived, we sat on the sand and started talking. It's such a nice view, she mentioned. Yes, it is, I replied. We ate our food while enjoying the view. I was enjoying looking at her as well. She was looking extra pretty in the evening sun. After talking for hours, we decided to head back as it was getting late. I went to drop her off at her apartment, and she gave me a soft kiss on my cheek before getting out of the car. Good night, she said, and I replied with a good night too, and then I drove towards my home. A few days later, Maya and I decided to get dinner at a fancy restaurant. I thought since it was a fancy restaurant, she might feel odd to try to steal anything. But boy, I was wrong. We arrived around 5 in the evening for our reservation. Maya was dressed in an amazing red dress, accessorized with a purse. Man, was she looking hotter than an oven. Our reservation was already set up, so we went right in and ordered some drinks and food. We chatted for a while before our food arrived. After we were done eating, I noticed that Maya was sneaking the cutleries into her purse. I wish I could unsee that because I felt horribly embarrassed and couldn't wait to get out of there. So I called for the bill and the waiter came with the bill to pick up the plates. He must have noticed that some of the things were missing, but out of courtesy to customers, he didn't say anything. I immediately paid up and Maya and I got up to go. She went out first. I walked behind her, but from the corner of my eye, I saw the same waiter making his way towards me. I got so anxious and walked faster, but he caught up with me while Maya was already out. "Sir," he said, but I pretended not to have heard and kept on walking. "Sir, please take your change," he said again, and I could finally breathe a little when he said that. "Oh, I am sorry, you can keep it," I replied and hurried out and got in the car. On my way, I made up my mind that I would not ignore it this time. I had to talk to her. She needed to stop doing that. "Maya, you need to stop stealing. You have no idea how embarrassed I felt in there," I said, trying not to sound harsh. "I am sorry. It's a compulsion. I can't help it," she replied. "I know. You need to see a doctor then, a psychologist. It will help you," I said, trying to comfort her. She agreed. "Okay, I'll look for some doctors and see who's the best, and immediately set up an appointment," she said, and leaned in to kiss me.
Right in the middle of a park.
I was a little relieved hearing that, so I leaned in as well and kissed her. Then, I dropped her to her apartment and drove back to mine. During the week, I texted her a few times to check if she had gotten an appointment. "Hey, did you get an appointment yet?" I wrote. But she never got one. She would always text back with some excuse, like, "No, none of the doctors I contacted were taking new patients." I knew she was lying. I couldn't understand why she was not willing to see a doctor if she had a condition that could send her to jail one day. But I just let it go because I assumed maybe she was embarrassed to talk about it. The next time we were supposed to go out, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't want to be embarrassed yet again, so I thought I should call her to my apartment instead and just watch a movie. "Let's meet at my apartment for a movie," I texted. "Okay, on my way," she replied. She arrived and we sat down to watch a horror movie. I had prepared some popcorn and snacks beforehand, so we ate our popcorn while enjoying the movie. As soon as the movie was over, it was time for her to leave, so she left while I just hung out in my apartment for a while. But a little while later, I noticed the watch my dad gave me was missing, along with a few other valuables. I was furious. I instantly grabbed my car keys and stormed out of my apartment. I got into my car and drove to her apartment. When I reached there, I saw that all my things were there along with other random stuff she had been stealing. "How dare you?" I said in an angry tone as I went up and grabbed my things. "I swear I was going to give them back," she replied and started sobbing. "Enough crying, Maya. I am tired of your shit. If you want to continue dating, you should look to improve yourself and see a doctor. Otherwise, we are done," I shouted and stormed off without giving her a chance to say anything. A few days later, I got a text from Maya. "I got an appointment," it read. "Great," I replied. I was feeling bad for shouting at her, so I texted, "I'm sorry for shouting at you," as well, and she replied with a smiling emotion. Then I decided to give her another chance and invited her for lunch. We went out to get some pasta at a restaurant. It was great, and we talked a lot. She didn't steal anything this time. It was the only normal date we had without her stealing, and without me having to feel embarrassed about that. But after we were done eating, she told me something that totally ruined the date and my mood. "Sean, I lied to you. I never fixed an appointment with the doctor," she said. I was so disappointed. I put up with everything and even gave her a second chance, but she just lied to me. I knew I had to teach her a lesson, otherwise she would never look to improve her condition. I didn't say a word for the rest of the time we were together, and we went our separate ways. Instantly, as I reached my apartment, I started contemplating ways to make her feel embarrassed for her actions so that she can realize what it feels like. As I was thinking, my eyes went to the invitation tickets a friend who worked in a museum had sent. It was an invitation for the jewelry showcase night they were having. Perfect, I thought. I knew exactly what I was going to do. So I invited her to be my date for the night, and she agreed, and even was excited about it. I went to pick her up on the day of the showcase, and we reached the museum just in time. It was so beautiful inside there. There was hundreds of precious jewelry pieces in there, and at one corner of the museum, they were even letting the ladies try on some of them. It was a highly secure place with security personnel everywhere. Maya's eyes lit up seeing all those valuable and shiny pieces of jewelry. She immediately left me and went on to roam by herself. A couple of moments later, there was a sudden announcement. A very valuable jewelry piece is missing, so we're going on immediate lockdown. Please stay patient. Then, all the windows and doors started to shut. I had seen it coming and I knew exactly who took the piece. Honestly, that was what I had expected to happen in the first place. The security personnel started to line up people to check each and every person. But I knew all of them were innocent, so they shouldn't have to go through the embarrassment of being suspected of being a thief. I had to do something. So I went up to a guard and told him that I saw Maya picking up the jewelry, and I even showed them a photo of her. Yes, I pulled a 6'9" and ratted her out, but that was necessary. However, Maya was nowhere to be seen. She was not in the queue or anywhere around the museum. Had she left before the lockdown? I felt stupid, but the guard did take me seriously and asked the female guards to sweep around each and every corner of the place. After a while, the guards came out from the ladies' room and they had Maya with them in cuffs. She had that jewelry as I had assumed. She was so embarrassed that she wasn't even looking up at anyone. They took her out and handed her to the police. I never contacted her ever again, neither did she. I could only hope that she changed her behavior after that event. Thanks for watching. So what do you think? Did I do right ratting her out? Have you ever had to date or deal with someone like that?
Nope.
What would you have done? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and check out other videos on the channel.
Okay guys, that is it for today, and don't forget to subscribe and like the channel, and bye.